Today, I want to talk to you about why I switched from a plant-based protein diet to carnivore. At the moment, I'm 54 years old. And when I turned 50, I was at a really crappy point in my life. I felt terrible. Long story short, I had to sell a restaurant that I loved to move my family here to Ontario. Hi, I'm Les McDonald, and I'm the owner of the Copper Coil Still and Grill. Well, it's no secret that we have a really strong focus on BC craft beer. And I thought I could pick up and run once I got here. And it was a really tough time. When you're not from this area, it's hard to start a business or get a decent job because nobody knows you. I get that. And that was hard on me because I'm used to getting what I want. I'm a no limit thinker, hence the name of the channel. Very positive. And so I went through a slump, and there were other things, but I let my health go downhill. So as you can see, I look haggard. I think I look older in that picture than I look now. I definitely feel younger, like 10 years younger. I don't think I look 10 years younger, but I feel way better. And so at that point, I decided I was going to try to get my life back, but it didn't happen right away. It wasn't until about a year ago that I said, you know what, enough is enough. Is this how it's going to be, or am I going to take control of my life and get better? So my wife and I watched a documentary. I'd already been working out, watching my caloric intake. Not that I've ever counted calories. I just, was trying to eat complex carbohydrates, the right amount of protein, et cetera, et cetera. And this time around, I had the hardest time ever losing the body fat. And if you're in your 50s and you're overweight like I was, and you start to work out and you expect to get the results. Oh, my dog's moving. Maggie, Maggie, your leg is on the tripod and you're moving my camera. See? And come. Oh, oh God. Oh my God. Okay, so apparently Maggie wants to be in this video. That was a workout, eh? Oh, so excited, so excited. So this is my Springer Spaniel, my daily companion, whom I love so much. We go for walks together, which is great. Okay, back to the story. I think I'm gonna have to put you down, sweetheart. You can't stay here the whole time. Notice how my voice goes to complete suck mode, oh, boo, 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 puppy, when I pick up my dog. Probably not the only one like that. Now, can you go sit on the couch now? Here you go. How about, here you go. Oh, here you go, puppy. Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay. I gotta go put my dog in the house. Be right back. I just had to run back from my house after getting the dog back, so I'm a little out of breath. My man cave, or as my daughter calls it, our family cave, is out in my workshop. So very lucky that way. Let's get back to my story. I promise it's not gonna be my life story. So I wake up, I feel like crap. I don't only feel like crap, but mentally, man, and a lot of you probably know what I'm talking about because that's why you're watching this video. I had a brain fog that I've never had before, and I just didn't want to think that was due to my age. And I had depression. In fact, I ended up getting a job at a car dealership, and it was really high stress. And then COVID hit, and I ended up going on stress leave. For the first time in my life, I went on antidepressant drugs, and things weren't good. I mean, things were tough with the family. My wife and I just were not connecting. So I had to make a change. I really had to. Yeah, it was about a year ago that I started working out again. And you know what? The pounds didn't want to drop off. It was really frustrating. I'm just telling you right now, if you're in your 50s, just be prepared that when you start exercising, just do it because, and ignore the freaking scale, because the scale is not your friend, and I'll tell you why. The first thing that happened to me that may happen to you is I started gaining weight, okay? So I was already about 200 pounds, and then I got on the scale after a week of, good workouts, and I felt great. Felt like I was starting to firm up a little bit. Little did I know I had quite a journey. And I get on the scale, and yeah, I gained 5 pounds, and then I get on a week later, I gained a few more pounds, and it took so long just to start seeing the scale dip the other way. So what I ended up doing was just putting the freaking scale away and just paying attention to my body. And I hope that's what we can all do when we do this. So I was working out, wasn't getting the results I wanted. My wife and I watched a documentary on Netflix.
People don't realize that what we put in our mouths is more important than anything else.
Your dietary pattern can change your biology in a profound way.
For the next 8 weeks, we'll be investigating the pros and cons of a healthy diet that contains meat and dairy versus a plant-based diet.
And so we watched this documentary, and it just made us think, oh my God, we got to get off meat. We're destroying the planet. We can't eat meat anymore. It really was and the results between the twins who ate meat and the vegetarian twins were different. And so we went on a plant-based protein diet. So I was already eating more low carbohydrates. And if I did have carbs, it was in vegetables. So I was trying to get complex carbohydrates. And I was eating a ton of vegetables, and I was working out. So I was like eating lots of beans and tofu. I found that I had to eat a lot of plant material to get the protein I needed. And then I went to my doctor. I expected my blood work to be good, but I was starting to feel tired. My workouts were my gyms. That's why I'm pointing that way. My gym's actually in the other part of my workshop here. And I just started not having energy and not feeling good. And I noticed that I was having a lot of joint pain, like inflammation, like especially in my feet where I'm prone to gout. And I also noticed in my wrists, I was starting to get these really weird pains, and in my shoulders. So I had an appointment with my doctor to get some blood work done anyway. And for the first time in my life, because I've always had like good blood pressure, my doctor said, "Oh, your blood pressure is a little high." I'm like, "Oh, that's funny. Like I'm losing weight and I'm working out." And she said, "And some of your blood work's a little concerning." I went, "Oh, okay." This is when I was on the plant-based diet. So, excuse me. I ended up just rethinking everything, and I just say, you know what, screw it. I need protein right now because I got to work out, because the exercise is really important to me. Losing weight is one thing, and looking good is great. It feels great, but feeling great is really important to me. And exercising is so important, especially as we get into our 50s and beyond, actually in our 40s, whatever, anytime in our life. If we have lean muscle mass, everything in our body is going to work better, including our brain. Exercise is so good for your brain. I ended up doing research on, my situation, and the carnivore diet came up on the internet. And to tell you the truth, I was pretty anti-carnivore, and I'll tell you why. My identical twin brother has probably been on the carnivore like 3 times. And I remember when he went on it, and he was like, "Oh, I can eat," and at the time, we were both probably a little overweight, but he was more overweight than I was. So I don't blame him for trying something. But I looked at it and I said, "So you can eat bacon and animal fat and meat. Oh, and you're going to lose weight." Sure you are, right? People say that. We'll talk about that in a minute, about people's conceptions and how people have reacted to me being carnivore. But that's how I reacted. And he actually tried and failed 3 times. Every time he did it, he seemed to gain more weight. But I just don't think he stuck to the program. And I'm not trying to bash my brother. I love him, but just don't think he stuck to the program, so it didn't work. But in my mind, see, carnivore didn't work. You can't just eat bacon and meat. Meat, it's all you're going to eat is meat. Your colon's going to clog up. You're going to get fatter. You're going to look like shit. And I felt like I was right. And I'm sure a lot of people do when they see people try and fail. But we shouldn't be hard on. By the way, I never said this to him. It's just in my head. So, because I love my brother, I would never belittle somebody for trying something and failing, because I'm an expert at that. And this was years went by. I just kept hearing about the keto diet. And, I always so many people go on these diets, and I prefer the word eating program. So right now I'm not on a diet. Like none of us are if we're doing carnivore. We're on a lifestyle change, right? We're on an eating program. We're not on a diet, and we're on a very simple, like impossible not to follow eating program. So I started seeing a lot of this stuff on carnivore. And I'd realized that since I started putting meat back in my diet again, I started having more energy for my workouts. I still had inflammation. And I even had gout in my toe. It was sort of like ongoing. It would just come and go. I drink a lot of beer. Or I should say I did, because I don't really have the appetite for alcohol like I used to, because I drank my whole life. I lived in Banff for 22 years, a tourist resort town. So drinking was a social thing. And I'd even say there were times in my life when I drank too much, and probably, I did. I quit for a while because I knew I was. But lately, the past 8 years, I'm just a daily drinker. I'll have a couple of beer a day, wine. I mean, I enjoy having a drink before I go to bed. These are around 8 o'clock at night when I'm winding down and I'm on my computer doing my thing. I'll have a couple drinks. And I drink enough that some people say you drink too much, but whatever. I got results. I lost the weight. The way I look right now, I was drinking 3-4 beer a day. And on the weekends, like 6 a day. And in the summertime at the campground, we drink beer too. And that's another video. I'll talk about that. So I was pretty well aware that my drinking was probably contributing to my inflammation, like my gout especially. My uric acid levels were too high. And I think my potassium was screwed up. And so I was getting gout. And when you're getting gout, the one thing you should think about that I didn't think about enough was that it's because your kidneys are having a hard time like handling it, right? So I get these results from my doctor. So I see carnivore videos on YouTube. So I start watching them. Just I'll be honest, it was an influencer who was pretty good looking, who had a before and after, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch that. You know, and her story actually really motivated me. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. But I didn't try right away. I spent 2 weeks just digging into the research. And I hope you do that as well. Or if you're already carnivore, you're just watching this to see where my journey's gone. So I started my carnivore journey on March 1st. And funny that we had a holiday booked to Florida on March 4th to 7th. And I actually just started my carnivore diet. So we go to Florida, and by some miracle, I managed to stay in my carnivore diet. And at that time, I was still drinking beer. So basically, my diet was I bought frozen hamburgers because it's so expensive down there. And we had a kitchen in our hotel room. So I would cook hamburgers for my protein. And then I'd go to the pool all day, and we'd basically, just drink beer by the pool. Not too much, but enough. I probably had like 6 cans of beer a day, easy, maybe 8 one day. I mean, one day was a lot more fun than the other. But I still kept to my eating regimen. A lot of people say, oh, if you drink alcohol, you're not carnivore. That's an argument everybody else can have, but clearly I can drink alcohol and I'm getting results, but maybe it's also getting in the way of me getting the ultimate results, right? I'm learning that as I go along, but I never say you can't drink because I may continue to drink. I don't know. I'm just cutting it out for now and I'm going to see how I feel because this is an elimination eating program. I won't call it a diet. Because we take everything out except the meat and the salt and the water and the fat. And then we see how our bodies react, and then maybe we can slowly reintroduce things, right? Yeah, I just started introducing coffee back into my life again, and I'm doing those bulletproof coffees. So I'll start it in the morning before my workout, and I'll do a bulletproof coffee, which for those of you who don't know, it's like coffee that's blended with ghee, which is what I use because it's like a more refined butter. And you can use butter as well, but again, some people have allergies to butter. Ghee is just basically protein and fat, so it's delicious. I had no idea my whole life I've missed out on this because I'm not having milk in my coffee right now either. I might reintroduce it, but I'm just trying to feel good and then reintroduce things. So I did a lot of homework for 2 weeks at least. I just devoured every YouTube video I could find. And man, there's so many amazing people out there that, are talking real science too, like actual family practitioners and doctors and nutritionalists. And there's a wealth of knowledge on why carnivore is so good for you. And so I'm like, yep, I'm going to give that a try. So I went full carnivore. Again, it was about March 1st. It might have been February 27th. It might have been a little earlier than that, but and it just felt great. And as I said earlier, I went to Florida. I stayed on track. So I did good on the holiday. I felt good in my bathing suit. I stuck to the program. I lost 2 pounds on a holiday. So I get back and it's Saturday night. And Sundays, now we're exhausted too, long day, but every Sunday without fail, we go to my wife's parents for a Sunday afternoon. And we never miss it. I love my in-laws. I'm very lucky and we all get along and they're just amazing people and amazing examples. And me and Bruce, we really enjoy our barbecue. We love barbecue, like ribs, chicken. And we barbecue every Sunday. There's always barbecue, but there's also a lot of starches. So Bruce is Italian. He likes to make his pastas. So Sunday, I'm like, I'm going to go carnivore. But the meal that he had prepared was 100% pasta. It was like cannelloni filled with like seafood and cream sauce. It was so good. And then there was focaccia, and there's always white wine. Bruce makes his own wine. I make my own beer. We share that passion for making things. And so I had, I noticed that I didn't really enjoy the wine as much that Sunday because I think like ketosis was kicking in, and I've noticed that about alcohol in general right now. And I had a couple glasses, not too much. And then I had pasta, but I had a second helping because, again, I've heard other people say this that are on carnivore that go have a cheat day, that I ate that pasta, and even though I was kind of full, I just had to have a second helping. So I did. And I'll share this video, actually, at the end of this video to show you what happened to me, because I had a terrible reaction. I felt like shit. I woke up, my face was swollen. I was having like a histamine reaction. And I'll be honest, even just today, I'm starting to feel like I'm back in ketosis and feeling better again, because I've actually felt like crap for like, it's Friday now. I felt like crap since Sunday night when I woke up. And it's only today that I'm starting to feel better. And I'm still a little like, I'm just so surprised how long that I thought, okay, 1 or 2 days, done. No. My wife's angry that I'm a carnivore right now. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had this reaction from someone in their family. And I think she's going to come around because she's seeing the results. But when I was really sick, the first thing she said to me was, well, you sort of asked for it. I went, well, yeah, well, I know I did. She's like, no. She's like, if you just ate normal food like the rest of us, you wouldn't be so sensitive and this wouldn't be an issue. And I was just like, you're lucky I love you. I was like, it was almost like you deserve this because you're a carnivore and look what it's doing to you. She did say to me that she's concerned I'm going to have a heart attack or get colon cancer. And even my father-in-law, like there's a lot of peer pressure. I really don't have anybody in my life except my twin brother who said, good for you. Plus I'm becoming part of the carnivore community, and you've all been so supportive, and I'm so glad I found you. I'm on a couple of Facebook groups that I just don't think I could live without right now. So the reason I'm doing these videos is I hope I can contribute the way other people are to me. So I'm only a little over 2 weeks on this, and the results are fantastic. I got all that plant-based protein out of my life. You know, I was eating so much tofu and beans and everything, and I think I was, you know, poisoning my body, and I thought I was eating healthy. Like I really was poisoning myself because I felt it. And it took so much work. And oh, another thing, on the plant-based protein diet, I would have to eat a ton of food. And every time I ate until I was full, I was tired for like an hour or two afterwards. Like I had to go sit down, lie down, or if I did try to be productive, I was half as productive because I just didn't have the energy. And I find on the carnivore diet, I've just got a consistent energy. And another benefit is that I just feel sharp. My brain feels sharp. I feel like I can dial in. I've got ADHD, by the way. I'm on medication for it. I'm hoping that when I'm on the carnivore for long enough that I can start to wean off my medication, and hopefully I can just get away from being on medication because I don't want to be on medication. I was almost going to be on a daily medication regime for my gout, because it was so frequent that my doctor was recommending I go on, you know, these pills. I can't remember what they're called every day. And you know what? I want to heal my body naturally. I've always been about that. I'm First Nation. And so my ancestors and my culture were all about using natural ways, right? Finding natural remedies. And I got away from that for a while. But lucky for me, you know, my wife's very supportive of my ancestry. And, you know, she reminds me every day of who I am. And so does this tattoo on my arm. This is who I am. So far, my carnivore diet's been great. I'm not getting the cravings that other people talk about. Like, and I know I've just been over 2 weeks on this. I'm going to keep coming back. I'll probably do another one of these videos in a month to show you where I'm at. And I've got another Sunday ahead of me, and I have to survive that. So I will tell you about that Sunday. It's just a couple days away, but it's good. I can tell you from experience that carnivore didn't just make me feel, you know, better health-wise or help me lose pounds. Carnivore is changing my life. And I mean that. I mean it. I'm getting back to who I am. And it's so exciting. I mean, another positive is that I'm starting to attract more abundance again. And for a long time I wasn't, because I wasn't an abundant soul anymore, right? Like didn't have the gratitude that I have at this moment. And trust me, having an attitude of gratitude attracts so many things. And I'm looking forward to like telling you about the positives that come out of what happens. And I hope I can inspire you. At the same time, being carnivore is a choice. It's a big one. So do the homework, watch my video, and then I'll try to share some links in videos moving forward of some of the videos that inspired me, okay? Because there's a lot of great people out there that really know what they're talking about. And if you're at this point in the video, you've been listening for quite a while, and I appreciate it. I hope that you got some value from this video. I hope you're getting inspired about carnivore. It's changed my life. I hope it changes yours for the better. And by all means, please like and subscribe. It helps the algorithms. I'm trying to grow the channel and become a bigger part of this whole carnivore community out in the social space. So thanks for watching, and I look very forward to talking to you soon.